Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. So let's begin the interview.
Good morning.
Being the MD and founder of SDA Bocconi Asia Center, what is your philosophy of leadership? How would you describe your leadership style?
My leadership style is extremely democratic. My staff says that at times it's too democratic, but I believe a lot in sharing power and responsibilities, and I've seen that it pays. At the same time, I believe in extreme transparency. So more or less, my staff knows everything that happens at all levels in the companies and in the group. I believe that especially nowadays with all the millennials, the young people, it's important that you give the full picture of what is happening, and as much as possible also vision on the repercussion, the output of what you're doing, of your work. And I think that works very well. People put the extra time without feeling burdened, rather having fun.
Absolutely, sir. What are some of the biggest challenges you see, both for higher education in general and SDA Bocconi Asia Center specifically?
The higher challenges for me is the continuous adaptation of the curriculum, of the curricula and the courses that we run in this period. It's a period with, and I'm not talking only about COVID, but it's a period of big changes, especially in India. The market keeps on changing. Certain markets are totally disrupted from one year to the other one. So our curricula keep on changing. We're quite lucky at the Asia Center because we're relatively new and so quite elastic, at least to a certain extent, to launch new courses, new courses within the curriculum, still to keep pace with the speed of change in India is not easy. But that's what the companies require. So in the end, I've seen it's a huge effort on us and on the faculty, but in the end it pays at the time of placement because there are certain areas of expertise and of updates and so on that nowadays you cannot go without it.
Education systems in India and other foreign countries are structured very differently. In your experience, what can an inbound student gain from studying here in your institute?
Inbound, you mean a student from abroad?
Indian students specifically. How are they going to benefit studying in SDA Bocconi Asia Center, given that the curriculums internationally and within India are quite different?
Well, we've done a big work on our curriculum since the very first year. While the base is the curriculum of our Masters of Management in Milan, which is ranked number 6 in the world, we've done a lot of adaptation to the Indian market. First of all, to the Indian students. Indian students are extremely strong in quants. And that's why in quantitative subjects, we had to raise the bar at the MBA level, where MBA abroad means 5+ years experience. While on the soft side, we had to increase the class hours because it's not, what I always say, is not that Indian students don't have the soft side. It's just that the Indian academic system is based a lot on mnemonic and on hard skills. In fact, when we teach the soft skills, we see that there is a blooming. In India, you live into diversity in every day. Every corner of the street is different. So Indian people are used to that. It's just that the education system is not structured like that. So we did adapt our curriculum a lot to boost the personal soft skills academically and on extracurricular activities. And I think that's what Indian students profit the most. At the same time, we do get in our courses, in our classes, double degrees from France, from ESSEC Paris and Bocconi Milan, so foreign students, and they get a lot from Indian students about competitiveness, about the importance of number crunching, while the Indian students get from them the softer sides, things like also presentation, doing a good presentation that is clean and everything. So it's very interesting for the students, the Indian students that we receive, because all these things come out a lot. And then for sure the semester in Milan is something that just changes them dramatically in the way they think, talk, behave, dress, eat, and everything. So I think it's a very good bridge to what the world is going to be in the next few years, because we are in a period where governments are more and more locally oriented, but the world is one, and it will always be one, with more attentions to sustainability, to local productions and so on, but the market will be the world. So you need to know how people behave abroad. If you are very good at crunching numbers, but then you cannot put them nicely on a slide, then it's a problem.
Yes, understood, sir. So now a little bit about you. Having held key positions in the corporate world, can you share some learnings that you brought into the institute from your industry experience?
Yeah, industry, corporate world is very different from academic world, especially when you start a school, and especially in a country like India, where there are 5,000 business schools and a few tens of good ones. I would say that the number one thing that helped me is resilience. There are 100,000 different lakhs of hurdles and things. So resilience absolutely is the most important thing. And then I would say strategic view, because setting up again in India is not easy. So you have everyday problems that are a lot, but you have to keep a strategic view of where you want to go. In terms of, we set up because we wanted to become one of the top schools in India, and you cannot compromise on that. So we had the first 3 batches, 25 students, but since the very first batch, we only accepted certain kind of students. In the end it pays, but keeping the strategic vision that comes a lot from the corporate world. And I would say also adaptation to different environment. Academic institutions are very much self-looking, and you look at what you teach very often without looking enough at the differences of the market and of the students you are teaching to. So the example that I gave you before, that we adapted the curriculum to the market, that's a typical exercise that you do in a corporate, studying the market and adapting the product to the market. I think that's very corporate attitude. And then I would say also networking. In the corporates, you have to network, and networking with the corporate community in India has brought us in a very short span of time a lot of very big employers on campus, helping us setting up, changing the curricula, but also dealing with the students, and eventually with the placement, with amazing placement that we are already doing after only 7 placement seasons.
When you started SDA Bocconi Asia Center, what was your vision for the institute? Has it evolved over time, and how far along in implementing that vision are you?
Yeah, what I have just told you, I started it in my head almost as a business. There was a need, there was an opportunity. It soon became a mission. I'm an alumnus of Bocconi, And so it became also a mission of bringing here something very good that we have from Italy. So it became immediately setting up one of the top business schools in India. And right now, I've shifted. I want to become one of the very best in Asia and in the world. I've seen that you can make it. I've seen it that our students are really delivering a different output out in the corporate world, and I've seen that our students are becoming the best of their batches in all the big companies they are hired. So now we are really pushing even more in structuring through clubs a lot of activities, in making it become a sort of little city with clubs and things that work by themselves, with faculty that is in love. All the faculty that are coming to teach, they are 85% from our main campus, and they're all in love with the project. They've been coming for the last 9 years. They don't want to give up that man. There were 600 faculties in Italy, but those 20 faculty that come from the first year, they don't let go, they keep on coming. So I think we really are aiming at excellence, and let's see, maybe also some partnerships, both corporate and academic. But I think I see for us a very, very important role to play in top higher education in India and in Asia. We've become Asia Center of SDA Bocconi. So the idea is now to become the platform in Asia. So India is very much looked at more and more from all the neighboring countries and from Africa. So it would be nice to have a real Asia platform in Mumbai for higher education.
Understood, sir. What do you see as SDA Bocconi's greatest strengths?
I would say faculty, students, and staff, and the fact that we have a sort of wise slates. So faculty is amazing. I don't know if you've seen the rankings of Bloomberg yesterday. We have been ranked number 4 in the world for among business schools that are the best in post-COVID times to go and study at. So we've been ranked number 4 in the world for innovation and creativity, in a small group with number 1 is Stanford, number 2 Kellogg, number 3 I don't know what, and then it's us. The faculty is really amazing. It's another level. They're all working faculty. They teach around the world. They are really amazing. The students, I think that except very few cases, we really managed to select amazing students that are good in their academics, often not the 99.9, but they're also, because they're also very strong in soft skills or in potential soft skills in activities outside the core academic activities. So it's really a great bunch of students, very motivating, very motivated, and that helps a lot. The staff, we have been voted year after year the most accessible staff, and that is very true at the time of recruitment, but it's very true also during the 2 years that students spend with us. We are extremely accessible, and that helps the student interact a lot with us and being supported. So I think it's the group itself, and what I was telling you, the relatively wide slate that we have. So the faculty with the staff, with the students, we interact a lot, always open door, and we manage every year to adapt the activities of the club, the curricula, and so on. I think that's the real strength of the school.
Okay. So what is it about the university that you would want people to know that they not already know about?
Yeah, I would say the way we teach. We know the rankings, we know Bocconi, We know a lot of things, but I always say to my recruitment team, if you manage to sit the students, let's do it for half day. They sit for half day in one of our classes, the prospect students, they get the difference. Our faculty, again, the way of teaching is quite unique. It's extremely interactive. It's a sort of midway between the case-based American model and the more theoretical European model. It's a lot of more work, but it's extremely interesting. Then I would say also the leadership style. Again, what the first question that you asked me, when students see how accessible, how empowering, they ask us to do something to launch TEDx Bocconi Mumbai, we do it and they do by themselves. But when they need, we're there to support. They need money at the end because they are missing one sponsor, we support. They ask us to launch the 180 Degrees Consulting Club. They do, and they've done 7 consulting projects this year, paid for, and so on. They asked the Toastmaster, we have become the Western Region Toastmaster base. So it's, I would say, the leadership style within the staff, together with the students, is something that I would like them to see, and they can touch only when they are on board, unfortunately. And you know, nowadays, while we do deliver anyway a master diploma, which is a big degree, a master diploma of the European university system, but nowadays, more important than the badges and then degrees is what you really learn. So all these activities, to do it by yourself, to think what you can do, and yes, do it, go ahead. I think that's quite an important platform for someone that then after 2 years has to start working, delivering, and it gives you inputs, it gives you 2 years of advance over your competition.
Okay. So any suggestions you would like to give the current youth and the aspiring youth?
Be a learner, but not just to touch and run away. Be a learner and get into it in as many things that as you can. The future is of learners and people that know how to adapt.
Okay, that was a very good and a strong message, sir. Thank you so much for your time. And
a pleasure.